and the Force is with me. I'm one with the Force. The Force is with me. So be it, Jedi.
Happy Thursday night, everybody. Welcome to the Geek News Now Cantina Happy Hour. We are here every Thursday night, just about every Thursday night. We take time off once in a while, but we're here every Thursday night. We're here to talk about Star Wars here on Geek News Now. My name is David. I am your host. With me, as always, is Debbie. How you doing, Debbie?
Doing okay for a Thursday night, Friday Eve.
It's Friday Eve. Thursday is my favorite day because once the work day and the Thursday is over with, it's only 8 hours until the weekend. 8-hour shift. That's all it is. Also with us tonight is Cam from Cam in Focus. How are you?
Doing all right. Thank you very much.
Excellent. Did I see you drop the new Cam in Focus video on the YouTube channel just a few minutes ago?
Yeah, it wasn't so much a Cam and Focus video so much as it was a Cam and Focus update. So I didn't say it on stream last week, but for the time being, I'll be moving my project. Well, I guess you could call it my stuff over to Twitch. You can follow me there, GNN _ Cam and Focus, all one word, and no, what I'll be doing over there is I'll be doing some weekly live streams. I'll be playing a game, something that I can play with my brain turned off, like Skyrim, and all the while I'll be continuing to talk about film. Of course, I encourage audience participation. You can always, discuss stuff with me through the comments. The more the better. Give me more stuff to talk about. I haven't quite worked out yet what day of the week it's going to be, but it's going to be a weekly thing, and updates to follow.
Cool. So, we are here tonight. We've still got, I think, if I'm doing the math right, we've still got about 4 weeks until Andor. We've still got like a whole month. And then we get 3 episodes all at once. So bare minimum, an hour and a half worth of material. And that's a minimum. That's like saying, okay, well, all these episodes are 30 minutes long. Each episode could be an hour long. Could be 3 hours worth of crap we got to go over.
Yep. So the first episode's going to be 55 minutes. Second episode's going to be 25. Episode after that's going to be 35. That's
It's typical.
Yeah. When's it come out? The 21st?
21st of September, yes.
So that's 5 weeks.
5 weeks. Ah, dang it, Debbie. We don't need Debbie Downer over there.
Oh, Debbie, you break my heart.
Let me count again because we all know how much I suck at math.
But I think
what is it?
I was going to say, I think the 21st is a Friday, so...
No, it's a Wednesday.
Oh, it is?
So it's 4 weeks. The week that it comes out is the 5th week. So we'd have to watch it on a Wednesday and then
talk about it on a Thursday.
Oh, good. It'll be fresh in my mind by then.
Yeah.
I hate that. I like time.
Why?
Notes.
Yeah. Debbie likes time to sit and...
Debbie's going to be up all night having watched all 3 episodes all night repeatedly. And she's going to come in. She's going to wave the notes in the camera. It's like, I got them.
But you know what, though? It's just that first week. That's when you'll have the trouble because that's the big long one. That's the 3 episode premiere. So
it won't be too bad if they're just a half hour, but if they're I don't imagine they'll be an hour long. I could be wrong, and I wouldn't complain if they were. But if they're just a half hour, it won't be too bad.
I think at a half hour, I think I would want more, honestly. Maybe the first 3 will be a half hour each, and then an hour each episode after that. I could deal with that.
I'm not holding my breath.
I'm not either. Well, you know
You
what?
never know with Disney. You just never know.
When it happens, and we will be right here on GNN talking about it because that's what we do. And Cam's funny water bottle.
Yes, it's my singing bottle.
Oh boy.
Okay, so tonight we are talking. Okay, in case you haven't been with us the last couple of 2 or 3 weeks, we have been talking about some of our favorite arcs from the Clone Wars episodes, and it looks like, the Geek Gauntlet podcast is on. How's it going? I'm
Hello.
going to assume that's William.
Hey, hi, William.
If you get the chance, the Geek Gauntlet podcast is on Saturday nights at 9. Correct me if I'm wrong, William. 9:30 Central Standard Time. 9:30 or 8:30 Central Standard Time.
No, 9.
Is it 9?
9, and then Eastern it's 10. So
Okay, so 10 Eastern. So there you go. Yeah, Geek Gauntlet. They talk about a lot of the stuff they talk about. They talk about a little bit of everything. Star Wars, superheroes, Marvel, DC. They talk a lot about DC, especially with the 10 p.m. Eastern. There you go. Geek Gauntlet podcast. Go check her out. A lot of fun. William, we're going to have to get you on the show at some point. So, we are talking about our favorite arcs from the Clone Wars. And the arc we've chosen today is I don't know that there's necessarily a title for it. The Mandalore Order 66. This was like the final finale of the Clone Wars.
Ahsoka,
I call
the
it
movie.
the Siege of
The Ahsoka
Mandalore.
movie, yeah.
Episodes 9, 10, 11, and 12.
There was a lot of stuff here. And really 9, I guess like the first half of, maybe the first third of 9 wasn't really good Lord. Wasn't really I mean it was mostly Obi-Wan and Anakin at that point. Anakin doing the whole surrender thing and 501st, and they're fighting the droids as per usual. I think Obi-Wan used that same tactic in the Clone Wars movie, if I'm not mistaken.
Like Crystallis? At Crystallis?
Yeah, maybe. Where
I think that was the...
I'm gonna surrender, and this is basically just a stall tactic. I'm gonna surrender to you while the other guy behind me is, or a magician's tactic. Watch this hand because you don't know what this one's doing. So really, we start off with Obi-Wan and Anakin, which, watching this again, and I don't know. This let me preface this by saying this is my favorite arc of the Clone Wars series. This is I hated Ahsoka until this arc. She was not my favorite character in the whole wide world, and then this happened, and I'm like, wow, she's amazing now.
7 seasons to like Ahsoka.
7 seasons. I did not like Ahsoka at all.
Wow. I mean, I didn't like her the
I'm
first
a horrible,
few, but
horrible
geez.
Well, we get into some of these other arcs, and I'm just like, I'm looking at it going, no, she shouldn't have been doing what she was doing, but whatever. It is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, who can forget, hers and Anakin's amazing chemistry of Sky Guy and Snips.
And R2E. Don't forget R2E. He was there.
Did she? No, she didn't have any kind of nickname for Obi-Wan, did she? Not that I remember.
No, I think she always called. In fact, I think she always called him Master Kenobi.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's why Anakin turned to the dark side, because she was just finding it in. You're not a master yet.
You turned her against me.
Yeah, exactly. You have done that yourself. There you go. So we've got I lost my train of thought here. It's my favorite episode, favorite season, blah blah blah. I'm trying to remember where I was going with all of this. Oh, the animation. So that's where I was headed. So to me, and I don't know if this has to do with the fact that this is the first time I've watched it on like the the 4K TV, or because up until now it's always been I've either watched it on my phone while I'm driving, while somebody else is driving, or I've watched it on my game room TV. Yeah,
Exposed.
or on my upstairs TV, which is an HD TV, but it's not 4K. And I watched it on this, and I was like, man, the animation is just really good. It's nice and sharp and clean, and it doesn't look anything like the previous seasons. And it just the way Anakin looked, the way Obi-Wan looked, and even the way that they were communicating with each other, the way they were talking, I was just really impressed. And like I said, I don't know if that has to do with the TV that I was watching or what, but maybe it's just one of those things. The Simpsons always looked better in later seasons too. It's just the art form is maturing and it's coming into itself. Thoughts?
Yeah, well, I mean, if you go back and you watch the Clone Wars film, not that I'm recommending that you do that, but you look at the animation and it's so robotic, like, and it was the typical almost early 2000s type of CG animation where like I mean, obviously every character interaction there's a bunch of movements in between, and somebody would like turn their head and they would turn and freeze, and then they would do something else and freeze, and it was, I mean,
even when they were walking, and I haven't watched the movie in a while either, but I seem to remember the scene where Anakin and Ahsoka are marching across the Dune Sea with the little baby hut in tow, and they're walking, and it's like they're robots. It's like,
but I mean, obviously, like you said, the art form is maturing, and if I'm not mistaken, they utilized mocap a lot more heavily in season 7.
And I think too, correct me if I'm wrong, Debbie, as far as you're talking about motion capture, a lot of Darth Maul plays a large role in this. Spoilers, by the way. If you haven't seen it, what are you doing? I mean, seriously, if you haven't seen it, go see it, because this is amazing. This is one of those ones where somebody that says, oh, Star Wars was good until Disney got a hold of it, and then they just crapped it out. And I'm like, hello? Look what you got in the last season of the Clone Wars. Look what you got in The Mandalorian. Look what you got in Obi-Wan Kenobi. Look what you got. Well, Andor hadn't come out yet, but Disney's been putting out some quality stuff. Cam, just for you. Look what they did with The Last Jedi. Just for you, Cam. Cam will bless it.
I love being the butt of that joke. I really do.
So the motion capture, yes. The motion capture, and they used Ray Park, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes,
for the
they did.
Mall. So, that just and honestly, I had to look on the IMDb, and they had Hayden Christensen listed as Anakin Skywalker. They had Sam Jackson as Mace Windu, and they had I can't think of his name, Ian McDermott as Palpatine. And I was like, that can't be right, because there was a scene with Mace in it, and I was like, that's not Samuel Jackson. That's now Samuel Jackson did his voice for the movie, for the Clone Wars movie, but not for the series. I think the guy's name was I forgot his name. Anyway, it wasn't Samuel Jackson, but there was that scene toward the end of the next to last episode where Ahsoka was having the vision of, what was happening in Palpatine's office, and you heard all the voiceovers, oh, he is the traitor, no, he is the traitor, blah, blah, blah. I was like, aha, there they are. All right. So, let's start over. I liked it. The Anakin, we love the animation. This one too, and I don't know if you guys noticed this. This is the first time I've noticed it, and like I said, it's my favorite one. I've watched it many, many times, but this is if I'm thinking right, this is the only episode that did not start off in a typical Clone Wars fashion. This one actually started off. It had the Lucasfilm logo. Well, not the logo, but it just said Lucasfilm Limited, and then it went into Star Wars: The Clone Wars. It's in red, but it was the regular old, plain old Star Wars theme. And then each episode after that first one didn't start with anything other than part 3 or part 2 or whatever. I mean, it was just like this was set up to be a here, Chewie. What are you silly cat? But this one was set up. You could watch this one as a movie and watch it just seamlessly as it completely unfolds. And it was John Williams' music. Oh.
I love this arc for many of the things that you just said, but also starting with episode 9 or episode 9. Well, yeah, episode 9 of this particular story arc. It meshes with Revenge of the Sith.
Yes.
Because, they mention things that, in episode 9, towards the middle or end or something like that, the attack on the capital, Coruscant, and, Grievous. This is where he, kidnaps Palpatine. So, so throughout these 4 episodes, there's little things that they hump in there to let you know.
They said there was one bit where Obi-Wan says, I'm going to Utapau. I'm going to go hunt for Grievous on Utapau, blah, blah, blah. I think Rex tells her at some point, oh, he's destroyed Grievous on Utapau. So
yeah, they did a really good job letting you know that this is moving along right with the movie, the events. It just all meshes together really well.
I actually saw something. There was somebody, and this is one of those things where it's really neat, but if you're going to sit there and figure it out, in my opinion, you've got entirely too much time on your hands. They go through, they said, okay, you need to watch episode 9 of the Clone Wars, and you need to watch like the first, 15 minutes, and then you need to watch like the first 20 minutes of Revenge of the Sith, and then you need to watch like 5 minutes of the next episode, and to where it's like all of it lines up exactly, and I'm like, all right,
somebody needs to make a YouTube video, then I'll watch it.
Yeah, there you go. That's some serious Pink Floyd Dark of the Moon crap right there.
Yeah, I mean that would end up being like a 4.5 hour movie of Revenge of the Sith, the Clone Wars cut.
I'd be down for that. There's a lot of rumors going around that there is a 4-hour Revenge of the Sith cut.
I've heard
laying
that
around somewhere. People are screaming for it. We need the Lucas cut of Revenge of the Sith. Okay.
I mean, I don't know. In regards to the film itself, I really don't know how much more is needed besides
I wouldn't mind a little more as far as Anakin turning to the dark side. In the novel, it covered a lot more. There was a lot more struggle going on with him, and in this one, it was just like all of a sudden, it's like, okay, yeah, I'll be a bad guy now. Cut off your head. So I wouldn't mind if they did have a 4-hour cut of Revenge of the Sith. I would not mind a little more touching into why Anakin turned bad, why he's the bad guy. So Anakin and Obi-Wan leave. Ahsoka gets her battalion. Her battalion all has their helmets painted like her face, and it's very touching. She gets Rex.
I cried.
If you know what, if you didn't, you are heartless, because there were so many cry moments in this one, and just the whole thing. It was like, oh my god.
Well, yeah, they're walking down the Anakin and Ahsoka are walking down the hallway, and they're all saluting her, and And she's like, they really shouldn't. He goes, they're loyal. So
That's right.
I was like, oh, ugly cry.
So anyway, they go to Mandalore. They're looking for Maul. You got the Prime Minister again. Yeah, and I thought it was funny with the Prime Minister. He ended up back in jail again. It was hilarious. We just talked about Maul releasing him from the prison, and now he's back in there. It's good stuff. Good stuff. But he gets killed too. He finally meets his maker at the hands of. Is it Death Watch at this point, or is it Maul's Marauders?
I think they're all painted in like Maul's
the
red
and black.
Yeah, I think they're more Maul's commandos or super commandos or whatever you want to call them. I think they're more Maul
and honestly,
than they are
I'm
Death
sure,
Watch.
I'm sure there's a proper title for it, and I don't know.
Well, in the
somebody else does, and it's going to make me look dumb. So,
well, in the Son of Dathomir comic, that takes place just after the end of the Clone Wars with Maul, I guess, if I remember correctly. Oh no, actually no, I might be wrong about that. I don't remember exactly where it takes place, but at that point they were still Death Watch. So,
well, and you got Maul running his crime syndicate, so yeah, maybe, sure, why not? It's the reverse Death Watch.
It's the Crimson Dawn Death Watch.
Well, and see, it's funny you should bring that up, because as we talked about last week, the criminal organization that he created was Black Sun. That was the first one he kind of took over, and then he created with the Pikes and the oh gosh, it was 3 or 4 different syndicates that he allied with. And I always got to thinking about that now, because I remember watching Solo and it was Red Dawn, and I'm like, they got that wrong. Wasn't it Black Sun? But sure, why not? They can change their name.
Wasn't Black Sun more the Falines?
I think so, yes, but that was kind of the one
because that was Prince Caesar.
Caesar, yeah.
Sure, I'm not pronouncing that right, but
that's okay. But again, sure, why not? I mean, but maybe it just evolved. It showed him talking to the other syndicate leaders, and I'm like, okay, well, if there's several syndicates under Black Sun, if he's just kind of the head of Black Sun, then these other syndicates may be involved, and that's why now we have Red Dawn, because it's new and it's red.
And you also see when they have the hologram up, you see Dryson there along with the Pikes and whoever else is in there.
So
just for a short moment, just like we seen at the I think it was the beginning of episode 9, we got to see Kanan or Caleb.
Yeah.
Caleb as a boy with his Jedi master.
There goes Dave Filoni again. Look, I made other characters too. I'm just going to put them all in here.
Yeah, well, I mean, I will say that his inclusion in the first episode of Bad Batch felt, fairly natural, but
I just thought the whole this one was actually, yes, you're absolutely right, Debbie. This was a good cameo, because it was just he's there for a minute and you know who that is, and then he's gone.
It's just an Easter egg. That's all it is.
Yeah, it's an Easter egg, and that's to me that makes a decent cameo. Whereas if you're going to sit there and say, like in the Bad Batch, the first season of the Bad Batch, there was like 2 episodes that was Hera and Omega, and that was it. And it was like, you going to put the Bad Batch in the Bad Batch TV show, or are you going to stick with the characters from Rebels? Omega.
Yeah, I mean, those episodes could have been about literally anybody else, and it would have been just about the same story. I don't know. I've got my feelings about the Bad Batch that I won't get too much into, but Yeah, that's
Season 2 coming.
Got-
Don't forget.
you got to win me over with these cameos. I'm not satisfied with just having them put in there anymore.
Okay, so they go hunt Maul. They chase him down to the sewers. The sewers, is that right?
Undercity.
Undercity, yeah. Sure, it's the sewers. It was underground. It was pipes. And Maul, they catch him, and he says, "Oh, you're not the one I was looking for." He
I was expecting Kenobi.
yeah.
Kenobi.
But even still, and even deeper, I'm thinking that he was really expecting Skywalker.
I think he was
Because
expecting Kenobi and Skywalker.
he could kill
Two birds, one stone.
kill Kenobi and Skywalker, kill them both. Because I
I don't know if he
I don't
wanted
know
to
if he
kill
wanted to kill,
Skywalker.
if he wanted to kill him or just steal him away so that Sidious didn't have him. I don't know. Thoughts on that?
I don't know. I felt
Because that was kind of a big deal.
I don't know. I feel like Maul was more about just destroying Sidious by any means necessary, or maybe not any means necessary, but any means that he himself could, control. And if that meant getting to Anakin before him, then so be it. But I do think that just killing Sidious was his ultimate goal. Because Maul didn't really, other than that, I feel like Maul didn't really have much of an end game. We had talked about this a little bit last week. From the moment that Maul woke back up with his new spider legs and stuff, yeah, he was very reactive to everything. He wasn't much of a schemer.
No.
Yeah, he was more just the guy of like, okay, I'm gonna do this, cause some trouble, and see where it gets me.
It was almost like he was, and he may have even been one of those things to where you can look at that and say, well, he was just that in tune with the Force, and he was just kind of going with the flow. He was, where does the Force lead me when I do this? What do I need to do because of this?
Well, in these episodes, several times he mentioned he knew that his master had a plan, but he wasn't privy to it. And then throughout, the next 3 episodes, he starts figuring it out, what's going on and what the plan is. And I think he
knew Skywalker was a part of it.
Yeah.
Because that was the name he kept saying. So, and Ahsoka even asked, "Why are you looking for Skywalker?" Oh, he's the key to this whole thing.
Oh, and then that leads right into probably the best lightsaber duel in the whole Clone Wars series. No?
No, I'm gonna argue with you on that one.
Because
I think this was very good. Don't get me wrong. I really, really liked it. But I think the one between Sidious and Maul and Savage Opress, the one we talked about last week.
Yeah.
I think that one was the better one, in my opinion. Debbie, you're crazy. I even said it's arguably the best.
That's duel, or well, I guess it wasn't a duel because there's 3 of them, but that lightsaber fight between those 3, I mean, that was great because that was the first time we've ever seen Palpatine or Sidious, doing some action stuff. But this stuff here, that was a shit. That was, they used the motion caption. They had Ray Park doing it. I forget the girl's name, but that was top notch.
Yeah, okay. I'll give you this, David. In terms of the overall choreography, I would say that the Sidious duel has the leg up. But as far as being pleasing to the eye with its smooth animation, I would say that this one takes the edge there.
I think too, something with this one that maybe would edge it out more. There's a lot more emotion involved in this duel. I mean, we know these characters. Not saying we didn't know Maul and Sidious and Opress at that point, but this is one of those things to where we know Order 66 is about to happen. And there's a lot riding on this one. And you know that because it's the end. You knew it was the end. Everyone knew, hey, we're doing one more season of the Clone Wars, and that's it. And then you get like 5 Bad Batch episodes. You get 4 with those, 3 or 4 with those girls, and then you get this. You get the Siege of Mandalore. Yeah, I know. I thought the same thing.
I did not like this.
I was not a fan either.
I did not see the purpose in those episodes.
Filler.
Outside of focusing on Ahsoka and her trying to figure out where her place is, but I just did not like the sisters.
It could have been handled in one episode to where she helps the sisters do something, and at the end, Bo-Katan comes up and says, "Hey, we need your help." Okay, let's do it.
Yeah. But I do definitely agree with what you said, Dave, about the emotional significance of the Ahsoka and Maul duel, because there's something not just cathartic but also dread-inducing about seeing this battle play out, but you already kind of know the outcome.
Right.
It's because like you said, you know that Order 66 is going to happen. You know that the Sith are going to win. You know this, that, and the other. It's an interesting storytelling tool to know the destination, but the story is just about how you get there.
And something else too, and this was, you mentioned that, and a lot of the start, like when you had the prequels come out, you could look at the prequels and you could go, he's going to live and he's going to live, so I don't need to worry about these two. But this guy over here, he's going to die. When the Clone Wars first started, the only redeeming value I could find in Ahsoka was she's going to die by the end of this, because she's not in Revenge of the Sith. She's going to die. She's okay. They're going to kill her, and that's going to be good, and I'll be fine with that, But then you get to the final season, and you already know she's going to survive because she's already been in Rebels. And you're like, dang. Now I got to root for her because I know she's going to survive. Take it a step further, now she's in Mandalorian. It's like, crap, how long is she going to live? So, Ahsoka, we love you. We love you now because of this part of the Clone Wars.
She'll be she'll be the second Jedi, I guess you would say. She doesn't consider herself a Jedi by the end of it, but she'll be the second Jedi to die of old age. I'm calling that right now. Yoda did it first, and then Ahsoka's going to do it afterwards. They're going to keep her alive for as long as they can.
Oh yeah, she's a cash cow, and especially now. I mean, Ashley Eckstein here at Fan Expo was talking about it's one of the new shows coming out, Tales of the Jedi, I believe it is.
Mm-hmm.
And she's involved with that somehow because she's pushing it really hard.
Well,
Holy smokes, what is wrong with your cat?
I don't know. I'm about ready to go find out what the heck's wrong with her, because I fed her. I always feed her before the show, so she's not doing this crap.
She seems to be doing that crap.
There were 2 less kibbles in there this time, woman.
How dare you?
The knife.
So anyway, okay, so we get Maul, we get Ahsoka, amazing duel, all the way up to literally the top of the city. I mean, literally the top. And when he finally gets caught, I thought that help me, Debbie. Who's the voice actor for Maul?
Sam Witwer.
Sam Witwer.
Yes, thank you.
Sam, give that man a show.
When she knocked him down and she grabbed him with the Force, and he's like, no, let me die. Just let me die. Let me go. Let me go. And then they grabbed him with the ropes. And, no, he'll kill us all. I was just like, because you know what he's talking about. And you're like, oh, I'm so excited. And then they stun him. And it was like that was beautiful. If you didn't think that was beautiful, there's something wrong with you, because this is drama at its best right here. This is a space opera right here that's happening.
Yeah, well, one of my favorite things to see in shows and movies is I want to see the characters unhinged. You know, I don't want to see I don't want to watch a movie and have the protagonist just be cool, calm, and collected throughout the entire thing, because that's not interesting. It doesn't make him seem like a well-rounded character. But Maul had a lot of that through the Clone Wars. I mean, he was for the most part fairly composed, fairly eloquent. He had his rageful moments every now and then, but this was the first time that we really saw Maul like desperate.
He was scared. He was desperate and scared. Yes.
Yeah,
So.
definitely. But I mean, I'm just gonna say it right now. I like Maul's hallway scene more than I like Vader's in Rogue One.
Blasphemous. Okay, what about Luke?
Wow, way to
Luke's in
throw
The
down the
Mandalorian?
gauntlet. Woo! I mean, it was
Luke's
cool, but
well, no, Luke's in the Mandalorian. It was fun to look at. It was really cool to see, you know, Grandmaster Luke doing his thing. But at the end of the day, he was just fighting droids. You know, granted they were.
A lot of people have come out and said, "Oh, well, Luke's hallway scene was better than Vader's hallway scene," and I'm looking at it going, "No,
I
no."
love them
There's
all.
just
They're all
something
great in their own way.
There's just something about them looking. You got all those soldiers, and they're looking down that dark hallway, and they don't know what they're looking at, and then you hear, oh, and you see that lightsaber light up. Oh, I'm looking. I've got goosebumps for crying out loud.
Yeah, I think the best part of the build up to that scene was you know, but before you hear Vader's breath, you hear like the ship around him start to strain as if his very presence is like causing the metal around him to bend outward. I love that, but I don't know. I just like Maul's hallway scene more. You know, he's in there decapitating clones. He's, you know, and he grabs the guy's arm and pulls him back until the door comes down on it. Like, you know what? Well, yeah. I mean, granted, you know, kid friendly. They have to, you know, film it in a way that's, you know, not too brutal. And I didn't necessarily like that about Vader's scene, because, you know, it cut away before almost every impact of his lightsaber. I think the one that you saw actually really clearly was whenever he would just casually flick his lightsaber up at the guy who was on the ceiling and cut him in half.
Okay, I'll tell you what the difference is, and this is my opinion, but I'll tell you what the difference is. You can't show that in a movie with real people, because then you have to rate it R, because then it's too violent. But if you show it in a cartoon, that's fine, because it's a cartoon, and cartoons are for kids.
Yeah, clearly they've never seen Happy Tree Friends. Have you guys ever watched that?
The what?
Never
now?
heard of it.
It's a hi Grant.
Hey, Grant.
It's a show called Happy Tree Friends, and you look at it and you're like, it's just a bunch of cutesy little cartoon animals, you know, going about their daily life, almost like a Hello Kitty show. But then they all just die in the most gory, just insane, crazy, brutal ways. And it's so out of left field every time it happens. And it's
What's it called?
Happy Tree Friends.
Happy Tree Friends. How do we watch
Well,
this?
evidently, my
Yep,
daughter.
you can watch it on YouTube.
I'll check
Steph
it out.
says she's got you. Evidently, she's watched it.
She's asking, how about Salad Fingers? I've seen a couple of episodes of that. I saw one like 2 or 3 years ago where he had like a doll of something that I honestly don't remember. It's not so much creepy. It's just like unsettling the way that he acts.
Okay. Writing stuff down so I remember to watch it on YouTube later on.
I think you'll enjoy Happy Tree Friends. It's a lot of fun.
I'm still trying to get through Arcane, so
I love that show. Love it. I love it. I love it.
So now we're talking about Maul's hallway scene. This is after Order 66 has happened. Ahsoka turns him loose and says,
I need a diversion.
go forth and wreak havoc. And he does. In fact, again, this is one of those scenes there wasn't a whole lot of, I mean, there was sound to it, but there wasn't any speaking, and you didn't need any. When Maul destroyed the hyperdrives on the Star
Loved
Destroyer,
it.
and then just the whole sequence from when he did that to when the ship fell out of hyperspace, that the combination of the sound, the music, the art that went into that was just, it's top notch right there. That was just,
well, the music
beautiful.
For all 4 episodes was just, I mean, you could hear music from like Revenge of the Sith, you could hear normal
music
Star
from Return
Wars
of the
music,
Jedi.
but then you could hear I believe Kevin Kleiner does the music for Clone Wars.
I think so, yeah.
But he also throws in like this, it's not typical Star Wars music, which usually I hate it when they do that, but the music that he used created tension. I mean, that anticipation because you know what's coming in it. Yeah.
It's not,
I love the whole musical score of these 4 episodes.
it's not only that you know what's coming, but you know that what is coming is bad. Bad things are happening.
And I just got to say, one of the smarter things that they did in regards to Maul going on his rampage, he didn't say one word throughout the entire thing.
The last thing he said was he said something to Ahsoka about, oh, you're going to give me one of those? And she said, I'm not rooting for you. I just need a distraction.
Yeah, as he's approaching the clones and like, his face is in shadow, but his eyes are still glowing. He's silent and collected throughout the entire. That is the Maul that I wanted more of in the Phantom Menace. I loved that.
Post Phantom Menace, we needed him through all 3 of the sequel, the prequel trilogy.
Yeah, we didn't need none of that Count Dookie.
I like Count Dookie.
Oh,
because he's so classical. He's so classy, and the way he writes is classical. And
well, I liked him because Christopher Lee made him work. But I mean, what real purpose did he serve to the story of the prequels? I mean, really,
not a thing.
Yeah, he was just somebody for them to fight.
For me, it kind of shows that Sidious wasn't keeping to the rule of 2 necessarily, because he had Maul, but he also had Dooku as a backup. And then, he had his eye on Anakin. It was all part of the plan. He had to have these people to get to the end game.
Yeah, but he knew before he had Anakin, he was going to have to get rid of Dooku. It was alluded to that where he said, when he said he's talking to Grievous in Revenge of the Sith about, he says something about like the loss of Count Dooku, his death was necessary. Soon I'll have a much younger, I'll have a new apprentice, much younger and more powerful.
Younger.
The reasoning for having Dooku and then having Anakin, decapitate him, that was just to get Anakin to go one step further towards that dark side. I mean,
but it
was a masterful plan. He had all these people in place to get what he needed to get to.
That was
Anakin could have decapitated Maul.
This is true. But Maul is such a great character.
And we wouldn't have a very good story now, would we?
I'm so glad Filoni brought him back. I mean, it was a weird way he brought him back, with the spider legs and everything. But
he's not my character, but damn it, I'm going to make him mine.
But because
fans
were clamoring to have more Darth Maul.
That was the answer to the whole.
So why not give it to him? And we loved it.
Darth Maul was such a good character, and you killed him off in one movie. It's like, all right, fine. We'll bring him back to life.
But
Somehow, Maul survived.
but now it's like, okay, well, Maul got cut in half. How are we going to justify him surviving? And will that change how we move forward with this? Well, Maul survived because he was angry. Oh, well, damn, now that set a precedent. Now we have to have all these people survive because they're angry. Grand Inquisitor, anybody?
Or Reva.
Maul survived because he was angry, but Padme died because she was sad.
Coincidence? I think not.
We've solved Star Wars, people. We solved it. There it is.
No, I saw this meme where the nurse droid that was delivering Padme's kids. It was this like 3-panel comic of the nurse droid goes to Sidious and he's like, "It's done, my lord. She is dead." And Sidious is like, "Good."
Good. Nice. He had all the characters in play.
Yeah, exactly.
Everything was
now
in play.
we know the truth.
Nothing was left to chance.
All that we would have needed was to have like a small shot of the droid turning away from Padme, and once it does, its eyes turn red.
Yeah.
Then we know it's a bad guy.
Yes, exactly.
Now, one thing that I found interesting about this was that throughout all of this, so Rex got his inhibitor chip removed. She knew about it. She found the report from Fives as far as that's what was going on. She uses the droids and the medics to pull the inhibitor chip out, and we get another Rogue One reference here too, where she's trying to find the chip, and I'm one with the Force, and the Force is with me. I'm one with the Force, and the Force is with me. So we got another Rogue One thing. But
can you tell she's my kid?
Yeah. So then we get to it's her and Rex against the world, and she tells him, she says, "Put those on stun and don't kill them." And I'm looking at it going, they're trying to kill you. You're not going to be able to isolate each one individually and remove their inhibitor chips. At what point do you start saying, okay, we got to start killing these guys because they're just going to keep coming?
Well, she felt, just as they had prior to her, felt loyalty to her. She felt loyal to them. She knew it wasn't their fault necessarily. It was the chip. And so if they were going to die, it was not going to be by her hand. And she even says so. She goes, "I am not going to be the cause of their death."
But she is.
Staying true to herself.
She left them on the ship and they all died.
She's not going to be directly the cause of their death.
No.
Yeah, that was Maul. So
all right, fine.
that was Maul's fault. He's the one that took out the hyperdrive generators.
Yeah. But who unleashed Maul on them?
Yes. Who turned him loose?
All these clones are in the afterlife. I'll never forgive you, Ahsoka.
That's right. So we get Rex and Ahsoka make their daring escape from the crashing thing. Somehow, this is one of those suspension of belief bits. Amidst all of the falling debris and crushed ship and everything going on, Rex is able to spot her out of the corner of his eye and catch her with the Y-wing.
Well,
that was some awesome flying.
It's confirmed Rex is Force sensitive.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. It's the Force.
It's gonna be a callback to the Rise of Skywalker, where a clone says, "How'd you know she was there, sir?" "A feeling."
So I'm curious now because all the clones had the inhibitor chips. We were talking about this earlier, the inhibitor chips. But there was a clone in Kenobi. There was an old, he's begging for money, old clone. Would he have still had his inhibitor chip? And if so, if Kenobi had identified himself, would he have gone bat crap crazy and tried to kill Kenobi?
I think he was too high on spice to even give a rat's ass.
Gotta love the spice melange. I thought. Well, I don't know. I think if
I think of.
Well, I think that if he did still have the inhibitor chip in him, I mean, do you think it could have maybe deteriorated or shorted out with age? Because I mean, by the time the Kenobi series starts, the clones had been decommissioned like 10 years prior. So, I mean, or maybe whatever server was, working in those inhibitor chips, maybe that got decommissioned along with the rest of the clones.
Or maybe,
I mean, I don't know. I don't know how this universe works.
It may be one of those things to where they looked at it and they said, okay, Order 66 is you've got to kill the Jedi who's in charge of you, and once that's done, it's done. You don't need to go hunt other Jedi at this point. We're just gonna go.
Yeah, that's what Vader.
We'll get the one that we're after.
That's what Sidious had the Inquisitors for. They were the ones that were mainly hunting the Jedis.
Oh, I thought that was Starkiller. Oh, that was the video games. I'm sorry.
I've never played the video game. I've read the books.
The Force Unleashed.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
The books are all right. I honestly like the books more than the games, but I'm not really a big fan of the games, so that's not really saying too much.
I loved them.
Well, I
kind of liked the first one. I kind of liked the first one. The second one was just, I mean, first of all, I finished the campaign in like 5 hours. And then the gameplay was just so repetitive in the second one.
It was repetitive.
It was very short.
It was very rushed. It was like, oh, we got a catch cow. Let's do another one fast.
It's like, okay, how do we make this one better? How do we make this one better? Wait a minute, he's going to use 2 lightsabers now. Perfect.
Now it's better. But we did get another one of the one of the things that I remember from the Force Unleashed was when he pulled the Star Destroyer out of the sky, and that was really cool. And we kind of saw it again in Kenobi, where
Vader
was doing things. We saw it in Rise of Skywalker, and now we see it again here too, with Ahsoka. Maul gets to the shuttle before they do, and Ahsoka tries to stop him. And she does pretty good, too. She almost had him. So.
That Rex was being outgunned.
Yeah. Yeah. She should have listened to her master when he said, no, they are doing their job so that we can do ours. He's Kenobi. Doing his job. Well, it was still Master Kenobi. Come on. She still called him that.
Meanwhile, the writing crew is in there like, okay, we know that Rex survives until Rebels. How do we do this?
It's another one. That's another character where Filoni came out and said, oh, look at the guy I created. I'm going to put him in all my other stuff.
Well, was it ever confirmed, like within canon, as to whether or not the old guy in Return of the Jedi is Rex?
That's not him.
Yes.
No.
It was confirmed.
It was not confirmed. It was not. It wasn't. It was shot down.
Dance, puppets, dance!
I'll find the news link for you and I'll send it to you. No, it was not. Somebody said, yeah, sure, why not? It sounds good. It's just as good as baby Peter Parker standing there at Iron Man 2. Sure, why not? Parker.
Yeah, because that was a factoid that everybody needed to make sure the universe worked.
Do we need to know this? Does it matter? I mean, seriously, in the grand scheme of things, does it matter? No. But he's not.
I am just determined to continue causing more rifts to form between the two of you.
Cam, the instigator.
I'm telling you. Yeah, Cam, you like The Last Jedi.
Yeah, well, you like Rogue One, and I wish that I had more people on my side.
Anyway.
I don't know how you cannot like Rogue One. That just baffles my mind.
It's mind-boggling. You know, it catches your mind and sticks it in a bottle.
Is that what it does? That can be our next Cantina Happy Hour episode. Why Cam doesn't like Rogue One?
No.
We'd have to get Dave Gramillion on with you.
Oh God! I don't know if I can handle
because
two
I need
of them.
somebody to back me up on this.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can handle two of them. Fight might break out or something. I don't know.
Rabble, 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 rabble.
What? Rabble. Oh, Lordy. Okay. Debbie, did we miss anything? Did we cover everything that you wanted to?
No.
Oh, what did we miss? What, the end?
Yes.
Okay.
They buried
if the end of this, again, I'm going to say this again. If it did not bring a tear to your eye, if you did not cry at this, you are a cold, heartless person. What? Oh, you're talking to the cat.
My cat. Okay. Yes.
They buried each one of them. Put up a tombstone of sorts with their helmets.
Mm-hmm.
And then she put down her lightsabers and walked away.
Just one.
Or just one. She put down one of her lightsabers and walked away. Just like she did with the Jedi Order. That chapter of her life is done.
And then Vader appears.
Yeah.
That was sad in its own right because I don't know. For me, in my head canon, when he sees the graveside, I guess you could say, and then he sees her one lightsaber and he holds it and he lights it. You know, I can only imagine the emotion he was going through because that was his apprentice. And
but I'm wondering too if he thought that maybe she had died, and that was, you know, because you had all those other clones and they had their helmets there and that was their tombstones. Well, they didn't have anything for her, so they put her lightsaber down there.
I'm pretty sure he did think that she died because you know, Rebel superfan here. Well, in season 2, but before Vader and Ahsoka have their big fight at the end of the season, at the beginning they sense each other because Ahsoka's trying to figure out who is piloting this TIE fighter that's like, you know, decimating their fleet. And Vader kind of looks over while he's flying and says, "The apprentice lives." So, yeah, I am pretty sure that he thought that she was dead.
Yeah. And then as he's standing there moping or whatever, thinking of good times, then we see the owl. And I'm not sure how you pronounce it. Is it Morai? Ahsoka's owl? From the Mortis arc?
That's Morai.
Y'all know what I'm talking about. Did you not see the owl?
Yes.
We know, Debbie.
I'm trying to think of the name.
I'm just making sure because y'all looking at me like deers and headlights.
We're trying to help you with the name, Debbie.
Is it Morai?
I was just content to sit back and listen to you struggle. So
I really hate you, Cam.
I'm sorry to hear that.
I'm just kidding. I have a
Oh.
hard time with English anyway, so ask my kids. I mispronounce words left and right, so.
Okay. All right, there, Debbie. We got the end. Are
Thank
you
you.
happy? Are you satisfied?
Somewhat.
Do we have anything else in your notes that you wanted to go over?
No.
This is a new
I thought
part.
I was sad that they killed the droids. We didn't know them long, but they killed the droids.
You know, sad, yes, but after that one arc in, I want to say it was season 5, where it was the little tiny guy that rode around inside the droids.
Oh, I hate
And
that
it was
guy.
like 5 episodes that it was all that guy and the droids. And I was
Yeah, I
just
don't like that story arc.
All right, I hate droids now. I really do. Just because of this.
Well, I don't hate droids.
Ahsoka can live. The droids got to go. Either
I don't
that,
hate droids. I just didn't like that particular story arc because it just dragged out forever, and I was like, "Oh my god, did we really need 3 or 4 episodes of this?"
So maybe we should do that arc next.
No.
It'd make for a good comedy episode.
One of these days, maybe we ought to do this before Andor starts, and maybe we'll get some fan feedback on this. We ought to do the Ewok movies, the Caravan of Courage and the Battle for Endor.
I've never seen them, so
you never seen them?
I've never seen them.
Oh boy, howdy, are you in for a treat?
It can't be any worse than the Star Wars Christmas special.
They're slightly better. If you were to ask my brother, he would sit here and tell you, no, those are the best Star Wars movies. No.
Well, if we ever get into Rebels, I want to do a I really want to do a Hondo. I don't know if he has a story arc, but I want to talk about Hondo.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what then. Next week we'll do Rebels and we'll do Hondo, because look at this. Stephanie even said we need to do a Rebel-centric arc. So we'll find a Hondo arc within Rebels somewhere. And
I don't know if there is one because he just kind of pops in and out all over the place. But
wasn't he in the episode with Lando? Maybe we could do Lando and Hondo.
Yeah, but it'll be our scoundrel episode.
Like scoundrel poetry.
Episode. Lando and Hondo. We'll find something. Grant says, okay, I'm on catch up with everything, but that sounds neat. Ewok movies rock.
Do they?
I don't know who to believe, you know.
You know what? Honestly, the first one wasn't awful. The second one was awful.
Is that the Courage of Caravan?
The Caravan of Courage was the first one,
okay.
and then the Battle for Endor was the second one.
Okay.
Yeah, that one was just really, really.
And they're on Disney Plus, right?
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
They're on the I think they're on the retro section.
Okay.
So I think those were released theatrically in the UK, but I think here in the States they were pretty much
straight to DVD.
No.
DVD? What?
Straight to VHS.
Oh, VHS. Sorry.
What?
I wasn't quite sure how far back we were going.
They were the ones that you'd find at like the $5 bin in a grocery store. Yeah. Not even a movie store.
Although, I will say this. Back in the second was crud. Yes, I agree with you. Back in the late 90s, early 2000s, when Star Wars was regaining in its popularity, to try and find those movies on VHS was next to impossible. You couldn't do it, and I owned them on VHS, and I was like, big crap because hey, you own the Ewok movies on VHS? Yeah, yes, I do. And then I found them on DVD, and I was like, ooh, now I've got them on DVD.
And then you watched them, and you're like, "Why do I have this on VHS and DVD?"
No, then I watched them, and I was like, God, what were we thinking back in the 80s? That was awful. That was terrible. Who is that? We got the Wilford Brimley up there talking about Quaker Oats and Ewoks. We are not doing Ewoks next episode. We'll do the Ewok movies just to get them out of the way, but not next episode. We'll find a Rebels episode. But shameless plugs, Debbie, got a shameless plug?
MCU Monday this week. She-Hulk.
She-Hulk.
You haven't watched the episode? Go watch it so you can discuss it with us.
I have not watched it yet. It's on my list of things.
I got up this morning early to watch it, and there is a mid-credit scene. So
30 minutes episode?
More or less, yeah.
Oh.
I think it's 31, but that includes the credits. So,
Perfect.
But it was a good episode. It was a good origin episode. So I liked it.
Dave Gramillion posted a graphic on there from IMDb, and like this huge gap of people gave it 10 stars, and this huge gap of people gave it no stars, and then these tiny little gaps all the way up 1 through 10. And so he was like, it's either really good or it's really bad.
I found it enjoyable. I liked it. I don't know if it was a 10 out of a 10, but I liked it. I enjoyed it.
Well, that's the thing with looking at the ratings for big franchise projects like that, because people want to keep that score either high or low, and so the people who want to keep it high will give it a 10 no matter what, and the people that want to keep it low will give it a 1 no matter what. So hardly any of the reviews that you find on there are genuine.
Yeah, they're all trolls or bots or something. And I never pay attention to them anyways, because this goes way back to my childhood, where it's a great movie, and then you go watch it and you're like, I don't think so. The ones that won Oscars, and you're wondering
why.
How did this win an Oscar? I don't understand.
For me, the Oscars has gotten to the point where 9 times out of 10 you'll turn it on and here's the 6 movies listed for Best Picture, and it's like, I haven't heard of any of these. Why are they Best Picture? I don't even know what these are.
How does Kevin Costner keep getting work?
Well, Speaking of Kevin Costner, I was watching. I'll be continuing my watch when we're done here, but I've been watching Man of Steel.
Okay. Cam, shameless plug.
Like I said at the beginning of the stream, I'll be moving my stuff over to Twitch for the time being. Follow me at GNN_Cam in Focus. Like I said, I haven't quite worked out what day of the week I'll be streaming, but it'll be a weekly stream, and I'll be playing games and talking about movies. So details to come. Keep an eye on GNN for that.
Cool. Well, that does it for us tonight. We will be back next week, where we will be discussing something from Rebels, a Hondo episode from Rebels. I may let Debbie pick it. But until then, we will all 3 of us see you next week. Same time, same channel. May the Force be with you all.